This is Lori with Three Keys Astrology and Lada's newest astrologer. I'm an intuitive astrologer and I do weekly forecasts for astrology in the winter months. In the summer, I encourage you to get outside and play, not to be a spectator in your own life. So for those months, you'll only get my monthly forecast. But it's fall. I live in New York, and let's talk about the second week of October. So the first week of October, on the 6th, we had a new moon in Libra. The sun is in Libra. Mercury is retrograde in Libra. Please go see that video so you can see how you can be preemptive and put some remedy and healing on Mercury retrograde issues. So you can close the past more kindly, more gracefully, more reverently, because, it's being so called for. This week is exciting mostly for me because this month is ruled by Venus, and as I explained in last week's forecast, Venus is the goddess of love. It's value, it's what we desire, what we appreciate, and the people that we love. We can even see the kind of woman a man desires in the astrology chart when we look at his Venus. And we can see the kind of woman, the kind of love a woman needs in her chart. And that is one of the beauties of being an astrologer. It's understanding. I teach in a 5-dimensional way because I'm intuitive, and most of my students are highly perceptive, highly perceptive and very intuitive. And I keep asking God to send me those future collaborators, business partners, and teachers of astrology. My price is going up. I offer one-on-one teaching. So if you think you want to study, get your butt over to the websites, Lada's and my own, Three Keys Astrology, and Lada's offer for you to learn astrology. My course is structured in 10-week modules. You spend an hour and a half with me each week learning astrology. After 4 of those modules, you will have enough knowledge to open your own astrology practice. It's fulfilling. It's skipping through the stars. It's living astrology. And if a lot of people, especially the cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, are going through kind of growing pains, issues from 2008 that blew up and exploded in families and workplaces, in our lives. We all have these signs in our charts. That, along with the critical, hot, heated, crisis-driven, and actually the world burning fires all over the globe in 2018. We're, this month of October, going to be revisiting those issues. Things are going to come up again. Please go see what I talked about in the first week's video, and I'll explain a little more because this week can be really hot. Last week, Pluto went forward. So the earth is quaking and the earth is shaking, and there's been volcanic eruption, all kinds of pressure on the earth and her people. The moon this week, my forecast is October 9 through 16 currently, and I go Saturday to Saturday. The moon in her phases has a fixity that's going to, if you haven't seen the video Riding Lightning in a Fire Snorting Bull, that video is available on both Lada's channel, astrolada.com, and on my Three Keys Astrology YouTube channel. I made that video on the last day of right after Christmas last year to explain the tensions. And I made 3 characters that were malevolent. One of them was amping up the energy on the electric chair, and we were literally being jolted by the craziness that has been the pandemic, and then all the following spill out after, making more factions of people not, it was so hot and caustic in 2018 over politics here in America, and now it's turned into our religious values, our work ethic, and how nice we are to each other at work, and how forcive employers should be, and how much control they should have over your person, your health, your choice. This is as if the earth were a cauldron. The pot's boiling, guys. October and November are going to be hot. Venus was in Scorpio, and there's a video on my channel called A Tale of Two Scorpios, And I've talked about the Persephone story, and we'll definitely talk about Venus and Scorpio if you come and study astrology with me. Those of you that have it, it's not a very nice place for love, for value, for money. It's secrets, it's pornography, it's rape, it's killing love. And that energy is finally moving out. On October 7th, Venus moves into Sagittarius. One of the best things about this week, despite all the challenges, because there will be a lot this week, and they started at the end of September when Mercury went retrograde on the 27th with those 5 other powerful planets that are revitalizing, reconsidering, restructuring, remembering, or nasty people throwing your past up in your face. I talk a lot about this in the first week's video if you need to see that. Venus in Sagittarius brings to our energy some necessary fire. And fire is mental energy. Aries and Leo and Sagittarius are exciting personalities and people. They get us going. They want us to move on and to move forward. So does all that air energy propelling us in Aquarian ways. It's time to move on. So is somebody holding you in hell? Is somebody, because this week the relationships are about setting ourselves free from those critical others, from those people that are impossible to please, from those people that are always shaming, blaming, guilting you, putting you down, from oppressive employers that are acting like prison wardens. That is the measure for the entire month of October. The purpose is to feel free, to take back your power internally, quietly, peacefully, and know that God has got this. He's the master of the universe, not you, not your boss, not your neighbor, not your cruel adult children, not your employer who's trying to corral everybody and all the sheeple and tell them what they're going to do with their bodies. That's big right now. Huge. Our cardinal signs are in this cardinal crisis and cross. And this whole month, because it's ruled by Venus in October, it's about who we're attached to, what we're attached to, what we need to feel loved, what we need to feel desirable. What earthly matters do we kind of collect for our value, intrinsic value? What's the shape of our money? What are our investments? Do we feel secure in our homes? All of this. More importantly, health. And good relationships make excellent health. So this week, because Mercury's still in retrograde, because Venus is on fire, and I love her here, she's an exciting lover. She's somebody who's ready to take a higher aim, to go get that higher degree, to study astrology, to get that psych degree, to choose to be a healer, a philosopher, a world traveler, someone whose knowledge lifts you from maybe the stagnant, stuck situations that you're in. Or I spoke last week in the video about that magnetic pull into hell, about depression, dreary, being hurt, being stuck, being oppressed. Turn that magnet of your mind in an upright position and attach that magnet to the stars and the galaxy and bring light. And enlightenment means knowledge. And with knowledge comes temperance, modesty, grace, and peace. All the fruits of the Spirit that our Bibles talk about. This week, we can surely expect, out of the blue, to find people being highly aggressive. And verbal aggression is just as abusive as is physical aggression. We who have been physically abused are often hurt more by verbal abuse. We don't forget the cruel things people say. Abuse is abuse. If you're engaging in it, if you're putting it out there, if you're inflicting it on other people, get help. You're responsible for yourself. And if you don't, you will suffer the consequences. Venus in Sagittarius says, you can do better than that. You know better than that. And if you have forgotten simple rules, try the golden rule. Venus in Sagittarius, I encouraged you last week and I encourage you all month. Walk it out, think it out. Finally, we got some fire and some energy. We don't feel so stagnant. Mercury in retrograde can be an excellent energy for restoring furniture, refurbishing something. For those of us who love to sew in the winter months, getting things out and seeing, do I need to fix that little hole in the sweater? Can I sew another hem in the dress? Or do I need to cut those pant legs and make a new hem? This month, that old adage to measure twice and cut once is key in our relationships. Libra is about relating. Libras, unlike Aries, are never selfish. Aries is an individual energy, it's the energy of the infant. And the cardinal cross of essential dignity, which you'll learn with me in astrology, Aries is that infant that's needy, that's dependent on others, but it's self involved. It can't see your perspective or your point of view. It doesn't try to relate how life was for you before it met you, that other person. The access, we astrologers don't think in terms of black and white, good and bad. We work in the realm of 5 dimensions. I teach you how to read and see and feel and know that way intrinsically. I come with good recommendations. My students and I have a great time. So the Aries energy, self, at age 14, we mature enough, if we're healthy and well adjusted, to be interested in others. At age 14, until the wheel of our life turns from year to year, decade to decade, we have to have others. That's because attachment matters. We need others. We are nothing without others. A man unto himself is a lonely man, is a selfish man, is a man who doesn't get to experience true love and who doesn't get to enjoy the bounty and the fruits of life. This October says, communicate. Venus and Sagittarius is about our ideals, the values of the enlightenment that comes from the energy, that Uranian insight that's being poured on planet Earth to repair the Earth, to fix government, to get rid of and eject corruption. That's the point. You have an oil spill in California. We've got volcanic eruption. We've got a pandemic that there will be a cure for. If we stop getting stuck and fighting and rebelling and open our hearts and minds in meditation and prayer to hear God saying, try this, because we have modern day Marie Curie's. We have modern day Albert Einstein's. We have modern day Carl Jung's. We have modern day Nobel laureates, incredible scientists, and people that are honest, people that do law with integrity, people that employers that give you the opportunity and are not trying to hold you down underground like Pluto would and tell you what to do. And that's the same thing with family members, lovers, and friends. This October is about taking a nice examination and reflection. All the words that I talked about in your last video mean, how do I communicate? Am I able to see what my faults are? I have a video, I have a reading only through Lada on the website that is a 2-part reading for you to examine some things that you might not see. It's a self-examination reading, and it's about getting honest with yourself. This will really help you, so order that reading. It's amazing. This month, I encourage you to realize what and who you're responsible for and what and who others are responsible for. And if your Venus is being held down, if any part of you that's love, light, and joy is being oppressed, being occluded, being darkened, being pulled into hell by other people, set yourself free. Make boundaries, make a plan for escape, get out, and choose to be around people that are loving, kind, warm. You'll have good health, you'll live well, life will be fun, you'll laugh, it'll be joyful. So keep Venus in mind all month long. Let her be the steering wheel of your entire life. This week we have a lot of planets in Libra. Mercury's backwards. The sun is going to meet Mars. Mars is in Libra. That's why we've got some caustic hot energy. We have a new moon in Libra, though. And that can mean a new way for me to relate in partnership, whether it's my most personal relationships, my professional relationships, the relating that I do to my neighbors, the relationship I have with God and my holiness for the sake of my soul and where I'll go after this lifetime, where I will meet God and face in judgment the way I've treated others, whether I've abided the Ten Commandments, whether I've lived an honest, integral life. This is what October's for. And because it's time for things to fall away, it's also best to take a look at what you can get rid of, what you can donate, what you can live without, and how you can live more simply. This month, the moon caresses us through all of our Scorpio issues, those issues that we feel shameful about, those issues that we need to be forgiven by others. And it ends in Aquarius. And that's perfect because Uranus rules Aquarius, who's saying, be free. How do you be free? We do this in our Catholic Church by confession. It's an unburdening of this thing that weighs us down or oppresses us or that we feel shameful for. Your confessor is a holy person. Your confessor can just be God. Other people don't have the right to hold you down and make you feel ashamed, to trap you and keep you caught in the past. Give yourself that gift to be free. Realize that they're responsible for their words, their actions, and if they're being hateful and it's covering you in any way, it's time to clean that up and repair, resolve, and realize that you don't need to be around people that are abusive, people that are trying to gaslight you, people that are trying to ambush you, people that are trying to shame you. Unfortunately, we have a hot week. Pluto station direct. The people that are most affected are the cardinal signs and the fixed signs. You can see riding lightning and a fire snorting bull. You can see a tale of two Scorpios. You can see Scorpio secrets. These will all be applicable through our October and our November. And we're closing 2021. We've progressed. And like I said in the last video, if you weren't a gravity bound individual, you'd be feeling whoosh, 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 this speedy force of energy that's pushing mankind into better places that are going to be very, very exciting in 2027 and 2028, should you live that long. But it's cleanup time. We got a lot of cleaning up to do. We've made a lot of messes, and Mercury retrograde is perfect for that. For those of you that are born with Mercury retrograde in your chart, this is where you excel. This is where you can lead the rest of us. There's plenty of geniuses on this planet. Don't ever let an astrologer or anybody tell you Mercury retrograde means Mercury retarded. Nay, nay, nay. These are some of the finest thinkers on the planet, some of the most brilliant people. They just think differently. And we need different. The age of Aquarius is about new invention, introspection, and recreating a whole new world, a very mental world compared to the world we've lived in the last 60 years. So, this is me saying, you use me. I'll help you. First of all, get readings. Come study with me one-on-one. And after 4 modules, learning modules, we meet an hour and a half a week in each lesson for 10 lessons a module. After 4 of those modules, you will have enough knowledge to practice astrology. And you will be gifting yourself a new career. Whether it's part-time or full-time, the possibilities are endless. So this second week, be very mindful. Keep your mouth clean. Use mouthwash every day. Listerine actually is incredibly helpful to the current pandemic. There's a study on YouTube. Go Google Listerine and the pandemic and be prepared to be surprised. Use it, gift it to your family, buy it and have it delivered to you to make sure you always have it. This week, wash your mouth out every day and make sure that what's coming out toward others is clean. I taught you how to calm yourself, to calm that vagus nerve with an in-breath of 7 counts, inhale, and then exhale with 12 counts. It resets any feelings with adrenaline pumping. The energy that's in our chart for this week, guys, is hot. It's caustic. We can't control other people, and they will act out. People that are violent will be more violent. People that are critical will be more critical. People that are bossy and pushy and caustic will be. Be prepared. as somebody who's on a path of enlightenment and somebody who enjoys astrology, uses astrology, and hires astrologers, you have the power to harness peacefulness. You have the power to bring light. You have the power to say to those others, I'm sorry you feel that way, and excuse yourself. Energy is contagious. And if you're around people that are exploding like atom bombs, that are touchy, that are watching your every move and criticizing your every action, they've got some serious problems. And you can separate yourself and know where it's something that can be worked out, or say goodbye to it and let God handle it. That's okay. This week is going to be hot. Mars against the sun in Libra is partners. So it'll be our partnerships at work. It'll be our intimate partners. It's about ourselves in relationship to others, in our workplaces, in our professional lives, and it bleeds right down to our homes. These are called the bones of the cross in astrology. That's the cardinal cross, the signs Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. In the meantime, all of our fixed houses, Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo, are experiencing some shocks and crises if we didn't set ourselves free, if we haven't been living honestly and truthfully. Those Uranus is going to make sure, and when you see that video, Riding Lightning in a Firestorming Bull, you'll understand the areas that'll be triggered. Uranus is our friend when we live in the truth, when we live with integrity and honesty. That's when we get that higher knowledge, because Uranus is the sign of the genius, the sign of the astrologer. It's that insight, those breakthroughs that will cure the vaccine, that has cured polio, that has cured tuberculosis, that will eventually, we pray, cure cancer and diabetes. That Uranian insight is gold. That's the world we're moving into. Being primitive and hateful and critical without resolution, but dogmatic and domineering and despotic. It's out of style. If you're doing that, you'll be alone, Mr. Caveman and Cavewoman. If you keep treating others like that, no one's going to want to be around you. So this second week, realize that other people are in charge of their responses, their emotions, and themselves. If you see people acting in behavior, I would be very careful. If you don't have to be in crowds, don't. If you don't have to be out at night this second week, these 2 months really, don't. Be a creature of daylight. If you're working at the night, if you're part of the police and emergency rooms and firefighters, it's going to be a really busy month. It's going to be a hard month. It's going to be a month of a lot of domestic violence and violence on children. And it's ugly. And those are the ugliest people that we have on earth. So this is me, Lori. You know how to reach me, how to get me. Please comment below. We're doing examples. Retrograde planets mean re. So write down how you can recreate, how you can restore, how you can refinish, how you can revise, how you can resolve and let go. This week, we've got planets going forward. It's going to be a big deal. And I teach my students that when you have squares in the chart, the fixed signs square each other. Taurus square is opposite of Scorpio, but Taurus squares Leo and Aquarius. A square, we can think of a square as a boxing ring. So are you duking it out with people in your family? Are you Tauruses fighting with Scorpios, Leos, and Aquarius? Are you Aquarius fighting with Leos, Scorpio, and Taurus? If that's the dynamic of your personal family, I can tell you there's pressure and problems. So I say, we astrologers know that people that have a lot of squares in their chart are going to face obstacles and difficulty. They're going to buck up against that egocentric, stubborn energy that says I'm right and you're wrong. We're going to do it my way or not at all. But the beauty of that is the mature, evolved soul it's a stepping stone. It's no longer an obstacle. It's smoothing out those edges and saying, in the axis of sexuality, Taurus and Scorpio, how can I make you feel loved? And how can I still feel loved? And what can we do together not to press each other's buttons, not to wind each other up? In matters of Leo and Aquarius, it's about the heart. how can I make you feel loved? How can I help you get out of your mental traps of the mind rolling around and around and around to the past or to past discretions, or remember when you cheated on me and I can't forgive you and I can't seem to let it go. That's that rat on a mind wheel, round and round and round, and bringing it up and bringing it up. Or, like I've said in other videos, hauling up every damn thing you ever did wrong. But instead, get leonine for balance. Go to the heart. That really hurt me. Say you're sorry. Acknowledge the tenderness of each other's heart. And that's a nice measure to have this week in self examination. How tender am I? How loving am I? Is Venus steering my wheel of life, or is it Mars? Am I critical and hot and mean? Is my home life chaotic? Is everybody fighting? Has family cut each other off? Remember, measure twice, cut once. All seamstresses do that. All family members should do that. When you reach a state of maturity, you accept people for the way they are. And if it's too hot for you to be around, you take a little space. You give them some space. Take a little time away. That's a good thing. So you guys take really good care. Measure your own. Keep that mouthwash handy. Keep the image of Listerine and your mouth is fresh. My words are loving. My words heal. You can be constructive in your communications, or you can be destructive. You can be creative in your love for others, or you can destroy others with your words. Have a nice self-examination. Stay away from hot topics. Stay away from people who are, what was that word? Confrontational. If somebody unexpectedly comes into a crowd, I expect there to be an increase in shootings, bombings, and that sort of thing. And I saw last month when I was analyzing hot stuff going on in the countries of Asia. There's a lot of deception going on, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's warring going on. It's ramping up, and I think we're going to see some of that in a big way in those countries. So be safe, be careful, be healthy, and use your words kindly and lovingly. Bring healing and light to situations. Bring resolution and cooperation. That's what Libra's purity is. When there's tension there, that's calling for change. Let that tension, that tightness, and those feelings be a red flag and say, whoa, I have to bring the peace. Do your inhalations of love, exhale love, and then wave the white flag. And if it's just a time out of silence, let that be. We don't make good decisions when we're upset. We dig ourselves in deeper holes when the fires of hell have us enraged, furious, and empowered, thinking we're better than others, we're bigger, and this is the way it's going to be. God likes us when we're small and humble, kind and polite. You take care. Beware, this is going to be a biggie. We're going to see a lot of things on the world stage and in the news that are painful, but we each, in our own little way, can make a big difference. So come and study astrology with me, and I'll be back again to give you the forecast for the rest of October each week with me, Lori. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.